Can you hear my voice now? Okay, I can hear myself now. So that should be weird. Yeah, it looks like I think OBS just basically resetted all my devices. Let's just go. Okay, can you hear game? Can we hear game music? All good? Yep, we good. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, so as I was saying, we have Circling's taking his gateway right out at the front, which is a little bit unusual. I don't think we see this very much in this matchup at all. And I was saying that there's a nice little wall in, or a nice sim city here to just protect from any zealots that are probably coming down. Yeah, do you see a zealot in production? He'll be heading over to try and do some harassment. Another supply depot going down here, just making it extra difficult for that first zealot to come and get between, but there's no marine in the production just yet. Probe's trying to harass the SCV on gas here. Gonna have to pull that and maybe pull another SCV to defend it, but ooh, the SCV goes down. That's pretty big at this stage of the game. Meanwhile, Cake Sauce's SCV gets in, sees the Cyber Core going up. And second pylon. Probe goes down to the Marine. And here comes the Zealot, right into the main. Let's see if it's Cake Sauce's micro is up to. Yeah, this Zealot might have a very difficult accidental attack on the refinery, but the factory SCV does go down. Now the Zealot is going to be on top of the Marines, but taking lots of damage, chasing after the kiting Marine there. Fortunately, the factory does manage to finish without being slowed down too much, so this Vulture will be on the way. Might get an SCV here. Does indeed, but the Zealot goes down, and just as he does, the second one walks right into the main. Marine down. So, but the Vulture is out now, so should have no problem if he micros this Vulture correctly. Taking lots of hits, just one hit away now from the Zealot. He's gonna have to really keep this Zealot off of this Vulture, but the Zealot does eventually go down. Meanwhile, Dragoons have started to be produced. Range is on the way as well, and Nexus is being taken. So I think this is pretty good for Circling. He lost two Zealots, did manage to get force out a couple Marines, killed one or two, got at least two SCVs. Yeah, got two SCVs. Bunker's gonna have to come down now. Let's get to see what's going on. Sees the Vultures, but actually Bunker doesn't really need to go up because it doesn't look like Circling has much intention of going to harass that Bunker and force some SCVs to repair it. We'll go down now. So first Dragoon going down. The second one's just going to stand by and block the ramp. And behind this really fast Dragoon expand, gonna see a robotics support there. So we'll see if he's gonna go for observers or reavers, but judging by the presence of a second gateway, I doubt that's going to be reavers. So maybe just for observers. He did see the Vulture. Meanwhile, we do have a tank out, so this Dragoon isn't gonna get much done. And probably should head back home now. Ooh, he's stuck on hold position, taking a lot of health damage here. And he's gonna go down, in fact. Not very nice to lose one of your first Dragoons. Cake Sauce is continuing to build up his tanks, just keeping his natural secure. Add-on is done, but I don't know if we have any upgrades yet. I don't think so. But we do see that there is an armory which is down here. So armory academy is down, but no comsat. A little bit of wasted resources there. Okay, there it goes down. So we'll get to see. Maybe just busy doing something else. And as expected, we see +1 coming out of that armory. So Cake Sauce definitely... Oh, Vulture getting into the natural, taking out two probes. Dragoons getting stuck on the probes there. But ooh, that's a lot of probes taken down. Very nicely done there by Cake Sauce. Getting quite a few probes for just that single Vulture, while the Dragoons are struggling to get around the buildings. So, and it does seem like Circling has sniffed out that that Cake Sauce is probably going for some kind of, or a later timing push. Isn't going to sort of just isn't building up his factories right away. Going to wait for some upgrades first, and Circling taking the opportunity to put a third down. And so we do see the observers on the way. Observers are on the way, so mines should not be a problem. And for now, we just see sort of pure tanks coming out of this add-on. Siege mode is almost done. And 1 Goliath, 2 Goliath, and it looks like Cake Sauce, I don't know if he scouted the third, but I'm not sure if he really wants to push out here. There's 5 Dragoons out, there's two gateways coming up. He's gonna try and check that this third is defended if it is there, because I don't think he's confirmed that just yet. The Dragoon is at the bottom of the ramp, and it's not going to do much good there, especially with the size of an army, and the rest are actually heading across the map. And Circling is now forced to turn around to come and try and defend his Nexus. But will he be able to take them out in time? Siege mode is done, so it's going to be really difficult for Circling to ever take his third back, or to at least even just clear out these forces, and the Nexus will absolutely go down now. Pushing up, I don't think pushing up this ramp is a good idea. Definitely want to cut off reinforcements. Oh no, Dragoon's getting dragged into the fire there. But at the same time, you can't just ignore this. They can easily pivot around and come and threaten the main. So now Cake Sauce slowly pushing down the ramp and sieging up. Dragoons might getting not focused, firing down the tank. Manages to take one, but taking so many shots from these 2 tanks at the back. But I think Cake Sauce realizing he's done quite enough damage now. Reinforcing Dragoons are going to be coming down quite soon. He's going to move back. Meanwhile, he's upping his factory count, getting his 3rd and 4th one going. His +1 armor's on the way, as well as the 2nd armory and science facility. And then if he saw the turret, if he saw the shuttle, but the turrets are going up, definitely will help to keep those observers out. You don't want to have Protoss just freely being able to see everything that you're doing there. And at the same time, it looks like there are some Dark Templars in production as well. So definitely, well, probably going to see some drops coming out. There are some BTs already out on this side, but there are 2 turrets here to defend this. So it doesn't look like Circling will be able to get much done in the natural or even the main. There's have to come all the way around here. The observer does see that there's no turrets here, so perhaps he will get in there. But for now, Circling is just gonna either pull back or he's gonna flip around. Let's see what he decides to do. Just pulling back for now. And meanwhile, Circling's also getting ready to retake that 3rd again. So Cake Sauce looking in a pretty good spot so far. Managed to take out the 3rd once already, so Circling's 3rd is quite far behind. Cake Sauce is also quite a bit ahead in supply as well, sitting on 53 SCVs. Might want to start cutting down on those soon, get more units out. I think he should have enough for 3 bases, I think. Maybe stop at 60. And his army's gonna start looking pretty big. So actually, yeah, so we gonna have to Kexel's gonna have to wait for this economy to kick in. Hasn't quite just yet, so although... So Kexel... Ooh, DT's coming in. Gonna try and snipe this turret, but will he be able to kill it in time? There is lots of army still back here. Vulture's getting stuck. Ooh, does manage to take the turret out, but there is another one in the back here, and scan goes down. And that will be that for the DT. But the second and third DT coming in, doing lots of damage. Ooh, this is a big mine drag. Lots of... Oh my god! What tons of damage being dealt there. Several tanks, vultures, and Goliath or two taken out just from those two mines. That's definitely not what you want to see. And as I was about to say just before all this happened, while Kexel's supply is way ahead, he does also have far more workers than yeah, in TX Cape Boys. He does have far more. He has so many more workers that the army sizes are actually pretty much the same in supply. Yeah, I read they're about the same in supply. And with that, there's quite a sizable force here, force circling, but no spellcasters to support this, so it might be a little bit hard to actually break the natural. But at the very least, he should be able to sit on this ramp on the high ground and at least delay this push from coming out too quickly. Circling, getting ready to surround this army. Does he see it? Ooh, half his army sitting back, doesn't want to engage like that, and correctly pulls back his dragoons, maybe a little bit too far. We still don't see any zealot speed for circling, but these zealots and Dark Templar are gonna sneak all the way around here to this undefended third, and it's gonna... Okay, he could have killed it, but Kexel is just starting to move out, pushing back, circling his army, and it looks like circling will be forced to defend now. And the macro now, those extra workers of Kexel that worker lead he had for so long is really actually starting to kick in now. 40 odd supply ahead. More reinforcements coming. Oh, 2 tanks getting picked off here. That's always nice. Probe hanging out for when that 4th will eventually be taken. But right now Circling's army is just a little bit too spread out all over the map to really accomplish much, when Cake Sources, well, everything of Cake Sources is just concentrated around the main and natural and the third. And and with Cake Source already with a huge supply lead, gonna be now an even base economy, and Protoss generally wants to be a base ahead, so this is gonna be quite a struggle for Circling to actually stop the push. And even if he manages to get most of their armies, it's hard to see how the reinforcements won't just walk through whatever's left. As for so Circling sitting now on 8 gateways, has a bit of extra money, could put a few more down, and almost 2,000 gas as well. And there's a bit supply block, so definitely not looking good for Circling here at the moment. Some units do manage to get into the third here. Dragoon gonna stop on the map, but these mines will take care of the Dragoon. Vultures coming in, and single zealot manages to get 1 or 2 kills, but ultimately that's just not enough to catch up the huge supply deficit that Circling is facing here. Cake Source is also sitting on 2-2 upgrades, probably waiting for that 3-2 to kick in just before he is going to push out, and looks like it should be almost done. It's about halfway. So once you have that +2, tanks are too short in dragoons. Fighting on the high ground here, it's definitely a way that's definitely good for Circling, but there's now so many tanks, and they're a bit further back, and the Vulture's doing a great job shielding those dragoon shots, so the tanks can just shell away across across this little valley over here, and Zergling kind of forced to retreat back, which is going to allow Cake Sauce to leapfrog his tanks or just basically move right up onto the high ground. And once Terran manages to take this high ground area with tanks, it's incredibly difficult for Protoss or any race for that matter to beat, or to even get out their base properly. You're sort of forced to go around, and it's really difficult to flank this kind of position. And I think we might very well see a GG coming out quite soon. Cake Sauce is already putting down his fourth base. He's starting to shell down the front of the net. Speed Zealots are out, but coming in such low numbers against all these tanks, it's just not gonna cut it. There's even enough, well, no, maybe not enough vultures to take out a pylon against a single cannon. But put in a couple tanks there and you can definitely make that happen. And there we have it. GG. So yeah, so Cake Sauce doing really well, macroing up that huge army, taking out the third, and Zergling just never quite getting up to that economy that he needed to get the numbers to completely surround that huge mech push that Cake Sauce was bringing to the table. Alright, so let's go into game 2 and see if Zergling can bring it back to tie the series. So here on Circuit Breakers, in the bottom right, we have Cake Sauce as the green Terran once again. And in the bottom left, we have Zergling as the orange Protoss. It'll be interesting to see, will Zergling try to mix it up a bit this game, try to go for something different, maybe be even more aggressive. They're having a little bit of latency issues, but it seems alright. I'll take it by the fact that I'm watching this, but wait. I have the wrong replay. No. Oh, hey Cake Sauce. Okay, it's the right one. Okay. All good. Ah, okay. Thanks, Cake Sauce. Okay, so Cake Sauce going for barracks into refinery, and Zergling going straight into a nexus on 12 here. So yeah, well, Gates, yeah, Cake Sauce, the very much insider knowledge. Okay, so it's gonna be a 12 nexus, and in the second most ideal positions for this. Always would love to have cross positions on Circuit Breaker if you're gonna expand so greedily. And it looks like it's going to be a while before the SCV gets to see that. And meanwhile, Circling's going to get the first scout off. And he's probably going to see exactly what he wants to see, which is one Marine coming into production after the factory. And meanwhile, the gateway is already up. Cybercore probably going to go down, and along with the Zealot, I think you do want to get the Zealot as fast as possible. But seeing the scout there coming in so early, Cake Sauce correctly identifies he's in the bottom left based on the timing that the probe arrived at the base. At least either that, or just decided to go cross positions, or go diagonally after going up. Marine's gonna chase out this probe, can't stay in here too long. Not gonna try and risk getting out. He should get away just fine. Oh, not if he does that. Okay, he's definitely escaped now. And is this Zealot stuck here? I'm pretty sure, yeah, Zealot should be able to move through the side of the gateway and a pylon, right? Yes. Okay, my nerves. That would be highly unfortunate. Gonna chase down this SUV. Cake Sauce definitely wants to keep it alive as long as possible. We'll get out around the minerals. And Dragoon range, as the Dragoon pops, and the SCV goes down. So, but he does get to see some nice info there. 2 gateways, range coming up. Saw 1, 2, saw at least 3 pylons. Saw 3 pylons there, so if I'm not mistaken, that should confirm that there is no proxy, or at least a very early proxy. And meanwhile, it looks like Cake Sauce gonna go with the same very fast upgrades again this game. Just probably sticking with his practice build. These Terran timing attacks can be exceptionally powerful. Especially those 2-1 and 3-2 timings. 1 Dragoon out in the frontier again, but the tank's already here to chase that back. And Circling had a little bit of a bank there, and decides to dump it into a Nexus at the 3rd here. And definitely playing for a much longer game again as well. Probe! Wake up, Probe. Go to work. There we go. You heard me. So, see what is going to be the... Do we have a tech follow-up just yet? No, not quite just yet. Forge coming down for some upgrades, maybe some cannons here and there. Okay. Yeah, Cake Sauce. Yeah, you should be able to judge by the health of the Nexus at a certain time. It's just like with in ZVT as well. If you see the health of the hatchery is really low when you get there and you scout them first, then they probably made a pull first. And if it's really high, you know, it's something that you can actually just watch the replay again and check it out and see how much health was his Nexus on when my SCV was here, and then you'll always know for the scouting pattern, and you see how much was it here, and you'll know that that's always 12 Nexus. +1 upgrade for Cake Sauce is well on the way. Still building up his tank count, just playing defensive, getting his army up. Probably gonna start adding factories soon. Goliath being built for any incoming shuttles that might get built. Circling looking in a much better position economically in this game. His 3rd is now fully up. His probes his probes are now in. Probe count should be way higher with the 12 next. In general, yes, but I don't know by how much exactly. But even if it's the same at a certain point later, having more probes earlier means you got your gateways faster, you got your upgrades in tech faster, and all of that stuff. So you can have like the same amount of probes at say 8 minutes, but because you had more probes for longer, you'll have been able to build more stuff because you mined more. That's why with Zerg it's so important to make drones as fast as you possibly can. So both players looking pretty passive at the moment. Zerglings poking into the natural, or into the third mineral only, checking that expansion hasn't been taken yet, and will probably prompt him to suspect that there is a really big attack that's being built up to come at some point. Starport is on the way, so I'll assume that, yeah, there's the science facility getting to get those upgrades. Maybe a little bit behind because there is a specific timing you can start your starport and start your and hence science facility to make sure that it finishes right before your +1 finishes, so you can get the +2. And Zergling's building up a little bit, basically a control group plus observer of Dragoons out here. Doesn't see any mines out just yet. Vultures and tanks just hanging out. Gonna send that observer in. Sees that there are tanks in the main. Sees 6 factories. And on that note, Zergling's busy sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About to have 8 gateways. Decent amount for, yeah, and with the Arbiter tech on the way. Ooh, 2 Stargates, so is this gonna be two Stargate Arbiter, or are we gonna see a fleet beacon come down? No. This is for additional Arbiters, so I'm guessing I'm guessing that must be for additional Arbiters. You would have seen the fleet beacon come down already. Templar Archives finally up. Probably going to see that Arbiter Tribunal soon. Oh, thanks for the follows, both Colgates and TapTap. Observer here just hanging out, checking that, sees some double upgrades. Oh, it's CX, thank you very much. Science vessels starting to be produced. We see some tanks start to unsiege. Vultures are going to move out. So probably going to try and take some of the area behind, or make sure that you can claim some of this area here. I mean, you definitely don't want to let Protoss as a Terran take control of this high ground here. The bridges are one thing. You can siege across the bridges. But the high ground really makes it difficult. Fortunately for Cake Sauce, Zergling's army is not there right now. Supply wise looking pretty even. Zergling slightly ahead. They're quite close though, so maybe I would estimate that Cake Sauce's army is just a bit stronger. And also this can't be all of Zergling's army. Yeah, it's a bit of half of his army, so if Cake Sauce is to move out now, and Zergling doesn't react, he might find himself losing quite a bit of his units before he can get a nice, good engage. Finally, that observer does get scanned. We'll go down to those Goliaths. This one's gonna have to run. Cake Sauce is not gonna chase that down. And here Zergling's army's finally all gathered up together. and looks like both players preparing for a huge fight. We got quite a few storms here. So arbiters should be in production. Yeah, so we do have arbiters in production. Quite a few storms, and Zergling moving up, taking up, getting a nice big arc. Kexhorse cannot leave his base like that. He's gonna have to retreat to the bridges. Siege is up behind him. Huge storm, taking out a lot of damage. But I don't think that this is the correct move. Going across these bridges is absolute suicide. He's never going to get good trades, and Zergling pretty much allowing Kexhorse to even out the army, and with that Kexhorse will be able to move across the bridges now if he chooses to. There are a lot of storms here still. So how many do we have? 1, almost 2, almost 3, 4, 5. So we have about 7 or 8 storms at least. Don't want to waste those vultures when we get those clumps of tanks on the bridges. Yeah, indeed, NTX. Yeah, always remember in StarCraft, anything that's hard for you is equally as difficult for your opponent. Unless you're controlling a 200 Zerg army against Terran Mech. That's not equal. I'm sorry, but it's not. But it can be done. Nevertheless, we see so Kexhorse now going around the high ground, gonna take a position up there. This army's gonna have to fully retreat, but with all these vultures there, all these Templars are very unprotected. He needs to protect these Templars. This is a huge investment of Zergling's gas and time. Actually, they've built up so much energy. And he's gonna need those once he's managed to get some more Dragoons and Zealots back into his army. He has roughly 2.5 control groups of army. That's not gonna be enough to fight what Kexhorse is bringing across the map here. And this pylon here is gonna get taken out. Does spot the army moving through, and looks like Zergling is gonna actually go for the backstab, realizing most of the army has moved back. Will he get up onto the high ground? No, Kexhorse is just in time. Zergling just a little bit behind, not able to get up there. And not much on the other side of the bridge. Ooh, Arbiters taking some damage. Ooh, nearly getting killed there for free. He's definitely going to need those statuses and statuses, but it looks like they were in fact EMP'd, having all their energy reset to 0. And Kexhorse moving down into the pit here to take his 4th base, but Zergling is taking his 4th as well, building some additional gateways. But those units will take quite a while to rally in. Crazy engage here. But lots of Zergling's army is straggling behind. He needs to get some storms onto these units so that the Dragoons can fight. But the other side of the flank is cleared up quite quickly. The Storm's doing excellent work here, taking out a lot of tanks. And it looks like both players pretty much going to trade armies. But still a few tanks left over here, and they will push back the army, push back the army that's up here on the high ground. Zergling does in fact have the reinforcements to clear this out, and then will be able to, or would have been able to take out the 4th. But with Kexhorse's reinforcements arriving just in time, should be able to defend this little ramp here. May have high ground, but there's tanks, a couple of vultures, now mines going down. It's going to make it really hard for Zergling to push down into there. He's going to have to find another avenue attack. And this is starting to get really dangerous, right, at this point, because he's just... Kexhorse is just a couple leapfrogs away from being able to start shunning tanks into Zergling's main, and that's definitely something you don't want. Perhaps maybe if Zergling had taken this base here, maybe put some cannons up and defended the ramp with some cannons, I think that is a viable way to protect yourself from this kind of attack. But Pixel's going with the expand towards your opponent strategy here, and definitely working out, while Zergling's reinforcements from this base still stuck behind here, and they do in fact have a long way to go. But with this group of vultures, looks like they will be able to get some work done to defend should the need arise, which I assume it will be coming up soon. But I'd really like to have them on the ramp, just to make sure that, you know, throwing away a couple of vultures for a ton of probes is always a good deal. So far, Zergling's upgrades up to 2-1. Does have his +3 and +2 respectively coming up. And Cakesauce now having taken, oh excuse me, that was his third base, not his fourth base. So pushing really aggressively there, able to take that third at the 6 o'clock, and can now very comfortably take his fourth base at the mineral only, and is probably quite content to just just hold this position right here, because there's no way that Zergling can ignore the fact that there's units here. I mean, he sees them, so he has to always be worried that these tanks could just start sieging up towards the main area pretty much at any time. But meanwhile, the rest of Cakesauce's army moving out onto the map. Oh dear, there's a huge recall, well, decent sized recall here in the main. There are quite a few reinforcements. Unfortunately, the main is already mined out, and the SCVs have long since been pulled. So might get a factory or two, but overall, I think this is not that much damage for the amount of army that Zergling committed to this attack here. And recognizing that Zergling threw away quite a bit of his army there, Cakesauce feeling comfortable to take yet another base, and so Zergling going up to his fourth base, his fifth base, but vultures are going to sneak up there to manage to get around all those cannons and dragoons, and are going to park here behind the mineral line and just disrupt some of this probe mining over here. Although the dragoons will come and take that out fairly quickly. So as for the actual income we have, Cakesauce has actually mined out his natural. Zergling still has a bit of minerals here, but there is in fact a huge attack. Ooh, that's a nice recall, flanking that army, but he needs to get the rest of his units to engage. It was a great move, but without the rest of the units fighting on the other side of the bridge to take the units, the tanks on this side, able to clear up quite a bit of damage, or quite a bit of Zergling's army over there. But Zergling's still looking pretty good after that, quite significantly ahead in supply, and just under 10 workers ahead as well. And this game has been really back and forth, I think. Oh, Goliath's gonna snipe down that Arbiter. That's quite a loss. Templars go down. No Storm, and there's just too much. There's just too much here for Zergling's army to deal with. Does get off the Storm, but that Templar going down without getting off a single Storm itself. And now Cakesauce is starting to take control of outside of the bridges, and it's going to be difficult for Zergling to ever move his army out if Cakesauce decides to siege up here, which is exactly what he's going to do. Oh, hello cat. I'm sorry, my cat is crying. Okay. So, what's going on here? My bad. Arbiter coming in. Gonna perhaps go for a stasis. Ooh, goes for the stasis, but hits the tanks in the front, which is actually gonna protect these two at the back here. You can see them hitting away at these Dragoons, hitting away at the Dragoons. Oh, yep. So these two stasis tanks actually working against Zergling quite a bit here. And these couple of Ultra tanks are going to be able to clear them out. Takes out the probe. I'm going to start planting mines down, cut off the reinforcements. And after most of the dust is settled here, Cakesource has managed to pretty much bring it back to almost even supply. So Zergling is almost mined out in his natural, almost mined out in his third. Essentially, these are essentially dried up for all intents and purposes. So basically mining on 2 bases right now, whereas Cakesource is sitting on a nice, comfortable 1, 2, 3, 4 bases. So double the, pretty much soon to be double the income as we see these last mineral patches in the natural and the third go run out. And in front of this 4 base economy, there's a huge contain being set up in front of Zergling's natural, where most of his production is. So what he really needs to do here is pump up a nice big army on this side and just try and sandwich these guys from both sides. Maybe stasis the tanks on the ramp this time. Oh, recall happened somewhere. Ah, there it is. Recall coming in. Recall coming in, but the Zealots are not attacking the SCVs. They're gonna get pulled, but the Vultures are already here. Yep, not gonna take the... gonna be able to take out this command center, the Zealots. Arbiter did have the stasis to potentially just block up that ramp, but unfortunately doesn't take that opportunity. But Cakesource taking yet another base while pushing through into the natural. I think it's going to be really difficult at this point. A lot of Zergling's army is just getting stuck on his own ramp. There are some Templars out here. He needs to get some storms out. Desperately needs to get some storms off. There is a carrier coming out here, but it has no interceptors, so it's gonna have to pull back. Okay, so Zergling does manage to clear this up, and once again we're back in even supplies. But as this game continues on longer, unless the way that they're trading armies with the economy that Cakesource has been on throughout this entire game is not favoring Zergling all that much. Usually it's good if a Protoss can trade his entire army for the Terran's entire army, but you need to be like a base or 2 ahead. Yeah, actual blimp coming in. He's going to deny this one for now at the small price of 3 Zealots. Cakesource will need to send some Vultures or other units in to clear that up before he can start mining there again. But for now, he's just consolidating his army in the middle of the map here, maybe looking to do another big push and perhaps just put too much pressure onto Zergling. He's got a couple units here, most of his army is down here at his natural, but I think he really does need to move out and get some map control. And just as I say that, yet another recall goes into the main, but most of this army does get EMP'd. This time Zergling moving his Zealots, trying to move his Zealots up onto the ramp, but there's already too much to finish those off, so they're going to pull back. He's just going to try and take out as many buildings as he can, and just do whatever damage he can find in the main base here. But this will get cleaned up pretty soon by Cakesource's army that's been rallied out to his natural. So, now 2 carriers out. One is filled with interceptors. But I'm not sure about this choice because Cakesource is had a pretty good amounts of Goliaths mixed into his army throughout the entire game. Always seems to have, you know, at least a control group, you know, just to make sure they can take out arbiters, shuttles, and observers as needed. So it's going to be a while before the carriers will really do anything. But Zergling's army streaming into the death ball of egg sources, and by the time the carriers get there, the army's pretty much dead. So these Goliaths are going to be more than enough to deal with that. A few units do come down here to the third base, but this third base is now completely mined out, so it's not a real point of contention, actually. It's actually just giving Zergling time to reinforce at the top left here, where he is actually does actually have most of his mining. So some of the army is going to move through here. There's just not enough yet, not enough to stop Kexos from moving his army across the bridges. Going to take out these dragoons, and it looks like Kexos starting to rally most of his units across into the map. Smelling blood here, realizing that if these bases go down, that there's really no way that Zergling's going to have any more income. And now that he has so many tanks on this side of the map, we'll be able to take out most of it as soon as his Goliaths arrive to start dealing with these carriers. So these carriers are managing to pick off quite a few Goliaths, but I just don't think there's 3 carriers, but it just doesn't have the DPS to deal with the Goliaths, who are now sitting on fully upgraded, and carrier interceptors only having +1, so these interceptors are doing very, very little damage to these Goliaths. Kexos gonna pull back his siege tanks. Wait, no. Decides, you know what? Wait. Is he going to go up? No. Okay. No. Just gonna pull back. Sees these. There's more reinforcements coming from behind. Definitely wants to make sure that he deals with that. Doesn't want to get caught up. Moves to those bridges. Just make sure that there's no way that Zergling can actually get up into there. So there's still about 8 Goliaths. Ooh, big storm. That was a very nice storm on the ramp there. So just below it, getting a huge clump. But carriers are starting to take damage, and they are starting to go down. Probes having to fight here as well. There's no more storms, there's no more area damage, and now this is the last mining base at Zergling is about to go down, and this is almost certainly going to be pretty much the end for Zergling here. Down to 8 probes. No way, absolutely no way to mine for Zergling. Huge army here. And this is, yeah, so yeah, this is looking like yeah, Zergling gonna fight it out with all that he has, what's left of it. These 3 carriers gonna do some damage, but will not be happy to see more Goliaths on the way. Oh, Goliaths walking right under carriers without attacking. Don't see that all too often. A couple of zealots and dragoons gonna try and run up to the top right hand side base. And Kexos putting his army back out here. Probably gonna head through maybe to go down to the main, or just park here. make sure that Zergling can never take these bases again. Said, look, not many SCVs mining over here. I'm not sure. Okay, there they are. I'm gonna move this command center back down here, but there are zealots. So some point looks like some zealots that managed to stop this base from mining as well. I'm gonna take this one out, and I think huge push out. Gonna try and catch these carriers. They will turn around, and it looks like this is probably the very last of Zergling's army. He apparently is mining from somewhere. Is it here? Yeah. So he is actually long distance mining from the mineral only. These carriers gonna sneak off into the distance. But no. These carriers are now out for blood, but they are running straight into the Goliath. Nice scan. Make sure that they don't get away. And I think that is GG. Well done, Cake Sauce. Well played. That is a 2-0 for Cake Sauce. Speaking of which, I forgot to do my scores. Oh, it seems I actually had I have my matches in the wrong order. Okay, for our next game, it will be another PvT, and this one is going to be between Grims and Slayer. I have the match. Okay, I'm seeing the game one I have here is on Circuit Breaker, so I'm not sure if I had it wrong with the previous one. So I'm just gonna go and double check which order the maps were for last week. Okay, so I actually played the maps in the wrong order. My apologies. It's Circuit Breaker, Eclipse, and then Polypoid. Okay, back to the action. So we will now have... So yeah, so the next game, as I said, it's going to be Grims versus... Oh, my apologies. I had the wrong names on the whole time. Okay, so this is going to be Grims versus Slayer. And let's get straight into that one. Okay, I think this is Okay, so in the bottom right, in the lime, we have Grims as Terran. And in the top right, we have Slayer as Protoss. This, I believe, is the olive color. I wasn't the only one that just saw that SCV power slide, right? I'm glad I caught that. That was cool. Okay, so Grims sending out 2 SCVs and right into the middle of the map. And okay, he's going for the 2 out of 3 board, so this is the sort of super all-in DBS, and the idea is you have a 2 in 3 chance that your opponent is going to be in one of the 2 closer positions on the other side of the map. Unfortunately, that is not going to be the case, so these Marines are going to have to go all the way across to actually deal some damage, and we'll see if Slayer does in fact scout this, if the SCV's natural path will take him close. Goes past it, sees the SCV, doesn't turn around. So wait, yes, sorry, okay. Oh yes, he would see it on his mini map as soon as he looked at his mini map. He would have seen the red dots there because he did see the barracks. So now he knows exactly what's up. I'm just gonna try and find his position. So if you do scout that, if you do scout a Terran or Protoss building or any player really building a proxy over here, if you're in bottom right or top right, he can only be in bottom right. So a bunker trying to be built there, but that's not gonna, that's not gonna happen. A Zealot is already out, and second gateway going down, pylon going down, no upgrade started, and Dragoon coming out, and Slayer looks like he's taken 1 probe off of gas. So far this Grims has pulled quite a few SCVs out, so it is a little bit of a force to be reckoned with, but you don't want to get on top of the probes. Another Dragoon is on the way. I'm not sure if you want to build Dragoon. Zealots definitely do build faster, and you kind of need every unit that you can get. SCV is doing really great work, cutting off this Zealot from getting any damage. 1 SCV does go down, 2 SCVs go, and the probes finally being pulled, and they're going to be able to get a nice surround on the SCVs and every one of these units here. But there's another 5 Marines coming out, but the 3 Dragoons and all the Grims taps out. He knows the amount of damage that he took to his economy there. Going for that is just not enough. 2 gateways were already up. So game 1 goes to Slayer. Okay, Okay, I do not know why that happened. Put it back. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go into game 2. This one will be on Eclipse. Absolutely no bias here whatsoever. I promise. If it was some Zerg IKEA players, that might be a different story. So game 2 on Eclipse. Oh, thank you very much. Game 2 on Eclipse. In the top right, in the tan. Yes, I think this must be the tan. We have Grims as the Terran. And in the bottom left, we have Slayer in the bluish grey. And we will not be seeing another BBS this game. Instead instead Grimm's perhaps anticipating some kind of shenanigans of his own is going to wall off his ramp. SBB, haven't heard of that one before, but it could very well be. Barracks does go down in timely fashion. Probe headed up on the way to Grimm's base. Gateway on the way. Probes in production. SCVs in production. Everything we've seen many times before. Yeah, the economy to barracks attack. Economic proxy double barracks. Probe heading in here. Gonna check out what's up. Marines on the way. No gas going down yet. Okay, there's the gas. So it will be a little bit of a delayed factory, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, gas already being mined for Slayer. Core's about to finish. He's gonna have that 150 for his Dragoon range right on time. Right on time. There we go. Well, there's the Dragoon. Gonna get the range. Probably very preoccupied microing his program. They do expect. There we go. Command center going down. Pretty fast command center here. Gas is being mined, but there's still no factory. Okay, there's the factory. It was just short a little bit of minerals. And that's the kind of thing, just making sure every SCV is mining minerals immediately, and that you're building your SCVs right before the next one finishes. That will make sure that when you in your build that you have that 200 minerals when you need it, and don't have to wait till you're like 150 gas or 200 gas or something like that. Bunkers going down. Nexus going up as well. Dragoon will be range, not quite finished yet. We'll be able to be down at this barracks in the front for a little bit. But I don't think this should cause Slayer too much trouble. He doesn't need to make any more moves. Okay. Tried to do a run by. But, this accidentally puts an SCV inside the bunker. I'm not sure. Another Dragoon. Perhaps a missed rally there. So these Dragoons taking quite a bit of shield damage. Range finally finishing, and Slayer's gonna start battering down on this bunker and that poor Marine over there. Grim's pulling out the SCVs, getting them on top of there, start repairing, and Slayer just trying to drain as much minerals out of Grim's economy as possible. Behind this, the second gateway is about to finish, or not about to finish, but it's on its way. Robotics facility about to finish, and do expect we'll see either of the observatory. Yeah, so it's gonna go observatory, the safest build. Tank is out now, so there's typical PvT builds on both sides. Just get out pretty fast expansion. Your most important tech, such as siege and Dragoon range, and a Dragoon not on hold position. Actually very lucky to get alive. Had that tank shot that Dragoon instead, would almost certainly have gone down there. Another Dragoon of Slayers rallied up, but he's going to be pulled back to safety. So scan is finished for Grims. We'll see when he does use that. And the next upgrade is starting to get vulture speed and a couple of vultures. This factory not producing anything just yet. Definitely want to get some tanks out there. And deciding to kill one of these supply depots. This is always the problem when you wall in at your ramp as Terran. Can be really tricky when your units have to snake around and then go down a ramp. Can cause some traffic issues. Slayer meanwhile is taking his third base. Has gone up to three gateways, Citadel. So I expect we'll see Templar Archives down soon. And then I guess either a Stargate or just straight into a Storm and Shuttles. Which is Storm and Shuttles being the new hotness in PvT. I don't think I've seen. I can't say I've seen a lot of CPL games, but I can't remember seeing it in any of the ones I've watched. I think Arbiters are just much easier to manage and use than trying to drop your Templars all over the Terran army while attacking, getting arcs in, and storming. It's very strong, but it's really difficult. Barracks gonna sacrifice itself pretty much to see what's up. I don't think it'll actually manage to get in and see anything. You will see that there's another Dragoon waiting on that side. Actually, no, it's gonna take quite a few shots still. So you might see the gateway count. Might see the Citadel. Leg speeds are coming up, and vultures are heading down the map, but they are promptly intercepted by quite a few Dragoons here. They will have to move back. Preferably, okay. So it's gonna meet up with the tanks here. Grim's taking a nice position at this choke, but it's gonna decide to push it even further. You want to be careful. We are opening this up to two angles at this point, but the Store Island here is also something you can actually abuse just by having your tanks sort of set up down here. I think this might be an overextension positionally. unless it allows them to take out the third. More reinforcing tanks coming through from Grims, and Grims is actually on a very low SCV count, so this is kind of all in, and it's also kind of working. He's now managed to siege up, just catching Slayer, taking his expansion maybe a little bit too fast, investing too much in these pylons. These dragoons stuck out here, they wouldn't be able to do anything in this fight. He does have a handful of dragoons to flank at some point, but if they move in now like they are, they will eventually just get killed. These tanks are already sieged, and there's no way for Slayer teams to ever break this contain. It will just be continuously reinforced, and it looks like we are going to go to game 3. Very nice push there by Grims. Okay, let's get that up. And we are going into game 3. And this one will be on Polypoid. In the top right, we have Slayer as our pink Protoss. And in the bottom left, cross positions, we have Grims as the light blue Terran. Build's looking quite similar, or at least the very opening part of the build looking quite similar to the last game. Grim setting up a wall on up on his ramp. Slayer getting his gateway down inside his main, and sending that probe scout out. 2 scouts will meet up at the top left. Refinery going down for Grims. Let's see, are we gonna have a fight? No. Barracks on the way, cybernetics core, gas mining, and Grims will reach Slayer's base first to see what's going down. Probably see, and we'll see pretty much exactly what he expects. Or at least not be too surprised by what he sees. And the wall in for Grims will come down before the probe actually manages to get in. So Slayer's going to be a bit in the dark here for quite a while, until he can confirm that it's the command center timing or something of that nature. factory going down. And Dragoons start popping up, so I'm gonna guess that Slayer's gonna try and move his Dragoon across the map, put some pressure on, and just try to delay the Protoss natural as much as he can, but actually he decides not to. He's gonna stay back here, perhaps worried that maybe there's a very, very fast Vulture sneaking out. Can definitely happen. The Slayer... Excuse me. Slayer gonna expand after his first 2 Dragoons, and yes, he is in fact going to move out. Meanwhile, we'll see the bunker coming down, and it looks like Grims is going to fake a 2-fact or fake an expansion here, having a bunker out that far forward might be a bit of a tell here, because usually you'd see the bunker sort of more here, where you can build a SimCity right up on the ramp. But I don't think Slayer would not have been able to see that there's actually no command center down just yet. And with the getting into range there, and yeah, with a bunker this far forward, the Dragoons are denied vision of that command center location. And it is in fact going to be a strong 2 factory. Double add-ons coming up here. So, but here's the thing. The fact that there's no SCVs out here to actually deal with this, and we'll see, is he putting down gateways? Yes, he is. 2 gateways going down, going up for Slayer. So he definitely does suspect what's coming up, and it'll basically be a matter of, yeah, the fact that there was no SCVs to come in and repair that, or that they took so long, I think was the giveaway, because we see the 2nd and 3rd gateways are already up, observers are down, or observatories done, but is it too little, too late? Because this is a really powerful army that's coming down here, and there's actually nothing for Slayer on his side of the map. 3 Dragoons popping is not going to cut it. These Dragoons, he needs every single Dragoon that he can possibly muster in this situation, and this natural is definitely going to go down. Ooh, he needs to at the very, very least hold his ramp. Oh, but the Vultures getting mines on the ramp. These Dragoons are going to take huge hits here, and I think this is going to be, I think Grims has done it. I think he's going to take this game. This natural is definitely going down. Every Dragoon dies, and GG. Well done to Grims. He takes this series 2-1. I think that was very well disguised there by Grims. Putting that bunker far forward, I was worried that it was a little bit of a tell, but it looks like Slayer just caught onto it just a bit too late, and letting his Dragoons go all the way to the other side of the map, not kiting or being able to bring them around fast enough. Just let Grims just push up onto his side of the map with almost with impunity, really. Pretty much just walked all the way there. Okay, and on to our last series of the evening, or evening for me anyway. we're gonna have Rubox versus Zini. Okay, so let's get straight into that one. Game 1 on Circuit Breaker. In the top left, as the red Protoss, we have Zini. And in the top right, we have Rubox as the blue Terran. Warping his pylon in his main. Supply depot in the main. All pretty standard so far. Oh, thank you Mediocre APM for the follow. I hope you're enjoying the cast. Barracks going down, SCVs being pumped out, probes being pumped out, gas going down, more gas going down, and we have the probe scout out. CV heading down, so both players will scout each other last unless they decide to go cross map. Zini's getting his pull and the pylon. And another supply depot down for Rubox, along with his factory, since they're going right on that 100 gas, which is always very good. And Rubox sending his SCV straight across the map. Seems to have figured out where Zini is. But so has Zini, and he's sending his the Zealot he made across the map as well. 2 Marines on the ramp, so Rubox is gonna have to micro this, try and get up into that barracks. But the Zealot looks like it's gonna arrive right as Rubox is gonna try and put a bunker down. So he does see it now. Okay, the Zealot does get 3 hits on the Marine. Not good for the Marine, kills the first Marine. Rubox is gonna have the second Marine goes down, and this Zealot has already causing huge problems here for Rubox. Zealots, Marines taking more hits, and needs to get in between the bunkers, or in between the barracks and the supply depot to micro. The Vulture is out now. The probe trying to dealing some damage on the Vulture. Did hear an SCV go down, and looks like another Marine as well, but that Zealot has in fact been taken care of. Vulture takes out that probe, but I think that some damage going onto the Dragoon there. But I think that Zealot definitely more than paid for itself. So right now Zini probably knows that Rubox only has a single Marine. Ooh, taking some damage on the Dragoon. Behind this he is getting his Nexus up, so I think Zini's probably feeling he's in a great spot right now. Dragoon Rage is done, and so now you can, after taking out those Marines with the Zealot, you can pump away knowing that it's going to be able to do lots of damage. As you can see, Rubox, he did just barely manage to get his command center down, and well, he managed to get his command center down, but barely has enough left over to keep producing units, while he has to repair the 3 of his SUVs, and there is has also forced to make another Marine. If you have just one Marine, the Dragoons can easily just ignore it and just wide walk right through here, or just start like bouncing in, picking off an SCV or 2, especially once the 4th Dragoon gets in. The bunker actually goes down. Did Rubox run out of money there? This is not a good position, and Rubox is gonna GG there, just being put too far behind with all that Zealot pressure, and with the bunker going down, Vultures just don't fight well enough against Dragoons in that kind of a situation. So we would have been, I definitely understand that GG. It would be really difficult to see how Rubox would hold on to his natural after that. Okay, let's go into our final game of the night. Potentially. So, game 2 between Rubox and Zini. Let's see how this one goes. Will Rubox be able to bring it back in the series and take us to a game 3? Or are we going to see Zini take this one in the 2-0? On Eclipse, once again in the blue, we have Rubox in the top right, and in the bottom left, we have Zini in the red. Oh, was it a good split? Oh, I should have been watching more attentively. So we'll see, will Zini decide to go for the Zealot again this time? Is he going to try and put on even more pressure? Maybe thinking his opponent is tilted? Will Rubox play more defensive? Try and really make sure that that Zealot can't do any damage? Or will Zini mind game that and go extra greedy and skip a or go a bit greedier this time, maybe skip a Zealot to get the core out faster, get his Dragoons out faster, and go for... Ooh, so, okay, so Zini looking to be a bit tricky there and stealing the gas. Always a threat on 2-player maps. Rubox snuffing it out, just manages to get his refinery down before that. Harassing this SCV on the barracks. Doing a great job microing around, but it looks like the probe, the probe does in fact go down. So, a bit of a loss there for Zini. And it's probably going to want to send out another probe to see what's up. But instead, the Zealot will be on the way to do the job. So it will be Zealot before call once again from Zini. SCV coming in. We'll see that Zealot's on the way. First Marine is out. Probably wants to get his next Marine up as soon as possible. And this time Rubox is going to... so Rubox is going to be a lot more defensive this time. Going to stick to SCVs on the ramp. Make sure that there's no way that Zealot can get through there. I'm not sure about this gap though. It can be really tricky to actually position your SCVs to actually block properly. Hey Huna, yeah, it was a little bit early. I don't know if you saw the last game. Zini's Zealot did a ton of damage to in the main. It took out like 3 Marines and an SCV, maybe 2. So I understand the caution. Factory is done. We're gonna have to move it a bit over to get that machine shop down. A little bit of time lost. Hopefully, won't make too much difference. Bunker is up. It's full. Command center is down. And Dragoon's on the way. Dragoon range on the way. Probably will expect to see an expansion coming down pretty soon. Oh yeah. Early Zealots are very scary. It always feels like you have to micro so much harder than the Zealot does. So Rubox getting a tank up to help defend this bunker. Definitely looking like a much better position this game than the previous one. Much safer. Gonna poke out at these Dragoons. And we'll start to move back. Definitely doesn't want to go out further than that. 2 Dragoons will win that fight. Range is now done. Zini is going to try and be as annoying as he can with the Dragoons that he has. 3rd Dragoon now arrives. Gonna repair the damage done there. And Zini's taking his expansion behind us. So Rubox managing to get his expansion up quite a bit sooner than what Zini has. And trying to bounce, manages to jump onto the tank. Does lose a Dragoon in the process, but this will allow Zini some time to beat down on this bunker. Definitely, it looks like Rubox is a bit worried here that there might be GGs or something coming. So he's putting a turret down. But with siege now complete for Rubox, he's not going to be able to pressure. And the SCVs have stopped mining. Wait, no, okay, they are mining once again. So if you... always be careful. If you have too many SCVs on, they will complete the mining and they'll all stop. And if you miss that, the bunker just dies. Not something you want to happen, as we saw in game 1. Let's take a few shots onto the bunker, but with the siege tank out now, this Dragoon will have to move away. Back at home for Zini, his observatories just completing. Lots of turrets going up. here for Rubox. Seems to be playing exceptionally safe, probably way too safe in my opinion. I guess he doesn't have scan up, so he doesn't know what Zini is up to. Maybe, and it looks like he's preparing for Reavers, but there are no Reavers coming. It's observers and small amounts of Dragoons. SCV coming in does not get to see anything. There's too many Dragoons there. Yes, always one SCV per goon. I think he had 3 on to 2 for a while there, and that might have been exactly what happened in game 1. Rubox continuing up with this. Rubox continuing with his factories, getting his +1 is halfway, just over halfway done now. Factory coming up, continuing his tank production, and Zini, seeing that Rubox is being really passive this game, is gonna take his 3rd Nexus and kill off that Scout. Meanwhile, Rubox dropping 2 more factories, so it looks like he's probably going to go for a 2-1 timing push off of 2 bases. It seems about right for what he has here, by my Zergy estimation. First shuttle is out now. That Nexus is done. Gonna transfer over all those probes. Dragoon's out here to scout everything that's going on. Knows there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Unless somehow some vultures manage to run exactly through this spot over here. Which they are not, however. Forge coming down, gonna start those upgrades with cannons to defend against vultures. And it looks like the tech will be arbiters for Zini. Meanwhile, we have some zealots in the shuttle here, a bunch of dragoons. Maybe gonna try and do some drops onto these tanks and get some damage done. There's only 1 turret, so I don't think he'll be able to well, there is 1 turret, so I don't think he'll be able to do much without speed. If it would be worth losing a shuttle for that. These Marines gonna move out ahead and see what's going on. And they will die. Almost managed to take out that Dragoon. Rubox moving out with quite a big force here. It looks like he's actually stopped SCV production for quite a while, sitting on only 33 SCVs. So this push really needs to do quite significant damage. But Zini catches it coming, has some reinforcements coming from behind, the shuttle coming through as well. And it looks like Zini's got a really good engage here, and Rubox knowing that I guess Rubox is, with those zealots dropping down, so many dragoons left over, just 3 tanks, there's no ways that Rubox is going to win this fight, and he's just going to be really far behind, being only on 2 bases to Zini's 3 there. And TX, he was pretty all in there indeed. Okay, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the games and enjoyed the cast. I am very tired. right now. So yeah, gonna get something to drink, go have a smoke, chill out for a bit. I hope you all have a good evening, morning, day, and see you guys for the next one, which will probably be some semi-finals. Thank you very much, guys. Semi-finals, if not, definitely want to get some casts of the finals. No rituals. Actually, I'm probably gonna play some ESO with my significant other. After this, just chill out in Tamriel for a while, run around, kill some shit. So that is me for this evening. Thank you very much. Cheers, everyone. And thanks everyone. Oh, thank you Cake Sauce for the follow and everyone else that follows. Probably gonna try and start streaming a bit more sometime soon. I haven't really been streaming much lately. Probably, I guess, CPL, not sniping, I guess, but sort of. If I guess I'm a bit paranoid. If I stream too much, then my opponents will know exactly what I'm gonna do in game. But nevertheless, I will try to get some games streamed and some more casts done next week as well. So, thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.